Hey guys, welcome back to Hearts of Iron. I actually did record the previous episode, but in the process of deleting the old videos, I deleted the one I did today, so we have to go back and record it, which is fine because I did not precisely achieve my goal that I wanted to do in this next episode. In this next episode, I'd really like to get Czechoslovakia, which we will be getting this episode because I have all the requirements and stuff like that. However, the one thing that is changed dramatically here is our airborne force. We have a field marshal that is strictly airborne, okay? And then we have a field marshal that is strictly army, okay? I can't recruit any more airborne, but in the last episode that you guys will never see, I extensively recruited some airborne, and so those are the major changes. Also, another thing I would like to do is update our air forces with parts and whatnot to make the airplanes better. I have the more up-to-date transport coming, all that jazz, and we got almost all of our facilities done. The only thing we have to do now is our land doctrine facility, and then all the facilities as of right now will be completed. But this episode is really going to be maybe invading France and Belgium. I don't know what's going to happen, guys, but due to the current situation, I would say that it's likely going to happen. But don't quote me on anything because I do not know what's going to happen, okay? I don't. But we do have a substantial military force as of right now. It's like 800,000 right now. Well, we have a total of 900,000, but there's 800,000 in the field right now. So we are getting a lot of it completed, and we're just waiting for the next national focus to be done so I can get Czechoslovakia. Once we do that, then we're going to prepare for the invasion of Belgium and France. We also have the nuclear capability being researched right now, but that's going to take some time, quite a bit yet. We also got some kind of thing for the research facility, and I am going to have them work on the super heavy howitzer. I wanted to get that in the last campaign, but it got deleted the one time, so unfortunately I had to bring you guys back several years. So I'm gonna get this rubber technology for 1939 here. Alright, now we have some military factories done, and so I'm going to allocate those, but I think what we're going to do now is we're going to maybe get the heavy bomber being researched at this point in time. Yeah, I should have done that. I should have done the heavy bombers earlier, but like the heavy bombs, but I was not thinking at the time. So, but we are gonna get the Sudetenland at this point because we can now get that, and that's gonna help us militarily as well as with our construction and stuff. Okay, we got more men in the field right now, so go ahead and get those allocated. Looks like to me, guys, we finally need a new commander, which is fine. We just got construction 3, well, concentrated industry 3. So I think what I'm gonna do now is focus on getting the stuff we actually do need to get it. I'm gonna get this computing machine because that's gonna help us with our research speed. Anytime you can increase the research bonus, the better off you're gonna be. Okay, we got paratroopers too, so that is fantastic. That's something that we needed, especially since our airborne force is quite substantial at this point in time. Let's update the weapons. I think that's the next thing we should do, is update our infantry weapons. And then after I get the Junkers JU 43, yeah, 52 actually, I'm going to actually do what we need done, which is keeping up with get the heavy bombs so that we can start to make the heavy bomber. Technically, we could get the large frame for 1940, but I think that we'll do that after we get the heavy bombs, because I want to get the heavy bombs and then start to make those. We're gonna have Messerschmitt do that because it's the highest level company that we have in terms of aviation. And then I don't know who we're gonna have do the heavy bomber, but we will definitely consider everything here. And so now we're making an improved transport plane, which is good. That is absolutely fantastic. But I'm saving the military factories because once we get the technology to put heavy bombs on the army and stuff and the air force and whatnot, going to make a variant of the heavy bomber. I may even shoot straight to the 1940 heavy bomber just to make things a little easier and not have to make another variant for a while. Okay, so now our secret facility is now completed. Now they're going to prioritize getting all these military factories done. This is a nuclear scientist. This is the infantry facility research person. So at this point, we have all of our research facilities ready to go, actually, which is great, because I don't think we're going to build anymore, because I think we're getting enough boosters from the multiple facilities anyway. Now let's wait. How much longer until we get heavy bombs here? Let me see where that's at in terms of everything here. I think we'll get one more division, guys, and then we'll call it good. We are doing quite a few of military factories at one time, which is really good, honestly. And we're doing 3.5 fighters per day. But of course, when we make these new variants, it's not gonna be that simple exactly. Okay, we got it to Datenland. So at this point, I'm gonna try and get Czechoslovakia itself. Just gonna try to grab as much territory as we can before we go to war. That's right, I was gonna check on the heavy bombs research. Okay, we're gonna have that in about a month. That is good. That is very good that we're gonna have that within a month or so, because we should be able to crank out those strategic bombers quite easy at this point. And it's apologize for my mispronunciation. That's just one of the words I have a hard time saying because I had a speech impediment when I was a kid, and that's one of the words that I really had a hard time saying even to this day. So we're gonna have those heavy bombs within 12 days, which means we can start to make the heavy variant of the bomber. Focus on firepower, heck yeah. I mean, seriously, this heavy howitzer is gonna be nasty when it finally comes out. And I'm basically gonna mass produce that bitch too. I'm calling it that because I feel like it's gonna be a nasty weapon, guys. I really do. I think it's gonna be something really freaking nasty. Okay, all of our military factories are now completed basically. So now we're reconnecting the supply lines that we had early game, and now we have the heavy bombs I was waiting for. So let's go ahead and make this heavy bomber here. Actually, you know what? We should get the 1940 version of this. Yeah, it's only going to take 170 something days, so that's really not that bad. But for now, I might just wait until we get the improved large frame so that I just have to do it once. And I'm not trying to switch, plane types out. Ooh, the Earth Shaker bomb. But we can also get helicopters. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get helicopters, guys, if we can. We can. Okay, so let me try to get something else instead. Bouncing bomb, the Earthshaker bomb. Okay, let's get the Earthshaker bomb. Nuclear strike requires this technology. Okay, so the Earthshaker bomb, is that like a nuclear weapon? I think it is. Honestly, I think it is. I think we are researching a nuclear weapon at this point, guys. We've been waiting waiting for this time, which I think we are, because you'll see that last time we looked at this, okay, the physics section of our special research was not even full yet. Now it's back to almost nothing, okay, which leads me to believe that the Earthshaker bomb is a nuclear type of weapon, which is ridiculous, and is June of 1940. So all we would be waiting on at this point, once that gets done, is the 1940s engineering tech, to be perfectly honest. But we do have a tungsten shortage, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trade for some. I think part of the reason we have a tungsten shortage is because of the research, but I also want to make sure that we are operating at optimal production efficiency here. So I'm gonna trade one more of our factories just to get a little bit more here. No, not 200 factories. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Oh my god, why do you keep doing that? Okay, we're gonna trade 2 factories for 2 tungsten, so that should help with that. Okay, now we're producing that optimal positioning right now, but at this point we're just waiting on the advanced large airframe, because I just want to make one variant of this thing and be done with it. Okay, so now we got our research. I'm gonna get the support equipment at this point just to make sure that we stay on top of that. Okay, let me see if we can get Fate of Czechoslovakia, which is we can, so that's great. We'll be getting that, and we'll be getting their factories, and then once we get the large airframe, I'm gonna start making, you know, a variant of the so-called bomber. I also want to upgrade the engine for the fighters, I think, for the planes, so we can get more power from each engine, which means more range as well as increasing the range for the bombers and fighters, okay, through range enhancements. Okay, we got the radar for the aeronautics thing, so I'm gonna move these units to this army here. I'm going to give command to this man here, and then move him to the main German army. Okay, I call it the main German army because there's more of everything in there. Let's get rocketry. Actually, that's not until 1942, so we don't exactly want to do that. You know what? We could research the new submarine is what we could do. I think, to be honest, yeah, let's get that engine upgrade for the planes, and then what we'll do is we'll start to research stuff for armor. So now that we have this engine upgrade, or going to have the engine upgrade in about 110 days, I'm gonna start to upgrade all the fighters that we have, like big time, just taking to make them a kind of a P kind of plane. So now we're working on the ports, which is great. I think we should put some anti-air systems in Germany right now, just max it out really, so we can have, you know, defense and everything in every part of the Reich, so that it's hard for them to get air supremacy. To be perfectly honest, I don't think that's a bad idea. It's definitely something that needs to be done so that we're not struggling for air supremacy. Once the war actually does kick off, I want to make sure that we have enough of these in here to give them quite truly thrashing on top of the airplanes that we have. Anti-air typically does go pretty quick, so that's kind of why I'm doing it now, because it kind of goes really quick, guys. I mean, it really does. It goes through really quick, to be perfectly honest. So I don't think even these many anti-air is not going to take that long to build. I just want to give them a heck of a time when they actually come across with the airplanes and all that jazz. As a matter of fact, I'll probably move them up to be before the, how can I say this, to be before the infrastructure, to be honest. Okay, naval facility. Alright, let's go with the midget submarine, I guess. I don't think we're gonna produce it, but, well, you know, if we're being honest, maybe that would be quite effective. You know, because it would be a small thing. It would be hard for destroyers to pick it up, number one. one, if I'm thinking correctly. Number two, if we get the torpedo attack to go like super high on that thing, it would be probably super effective because they wouldn't be able to find it. So let's actually, let's move the anti-air to the top of the thing, just underneath the ports, and then we will be able to give them quite the thrashing once the war actually starts, because the anti-air would be so bad that they probably wouldn't be able to break through, and if they do, it's going to be very, very difficult to do so. So let's go ahead and move all these up here, because that sounds like a good idea, to be honest, for them to be built after the ports, because that way I know that before the war they're gonna be built, if you know what I'm saying, guys, because it's still gonna take time to do so. It might, these go pretty quick, but it's still gonna take some time to build that many of them, if that makes sense. So I want to be able to have most of these things in place by the time the war kicks off, and that's not very far away, guys, to be perfectly honest. That really isn't. This is final preparations before we pull the trigger, essentially. Okay, guys, finally got all my AI to happen after the ports. Finally. Oh my god, that took some time. But we're finally done with that. And of course, the only reason I did this is because I don't want the enemy planes filling through the sky more than our planes can shoot down, right? I want them to have an easy job. All of Czechoslovakia belongs to the Reich. Okay, how much longer until we get the 1940 bomber thingy, whatever? 72 days. Alright then, we'll get more research boost in about 3 days. Advanced computer machine. Okay, so let's see here. I want to upgrade our support companies as well. I don't think we have any of these companies in here, but we are going to put them in there before the war kicks off. Oh, that's right, I gotta get a new national focus here. Eastern claims. It's kinda wait a bit, because I do have some special research things that need to be researched. So let's do the bouncing bomb.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit.
So yeah, now our construction is quite fast right now. I'm pleased with it, but that is because we got multiple countries like working for us here. Alright, so I think at this point I'm gonna build some airfields on the border of the so-called enemies that are to come, because at this point I'm gonna do days in war. Okay, that also means I'm probably gonna push the ports up, or the anti-air up, because the ports aren't gonna get done fast enough. However, I could try to buy myself time and get this really quick and get all of that ready to go. Okay, we got another port, so that's good. I'm just trying to get as many of these ports put in place possible. Now we got the super heavy howitzer, so is that on the land war? Interesting. Self-propelled super heavy stronghold network. We don't quite have enough to do that, but we are going to do the one thing that we can do right now. So, okay. Germany hang on, how do we get this? Germany has completed focus U-boat effort. So hold up. About to get these naval bases completed, which is really what we need here, so we can put more factories into. Okay, we got the engine upgrade, so I'm going to start to build new variants of the planes we have at this point in time. Now that being said, let me bring up our production queue. Let's look at our technology real quick. Okay, we're gonna get this heavy bomber in about 11 days. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait until we get the 11 days and then go from there. Large aircraft, rockets, torpedoes, actually. That's torpedoes, my bad there. Can we get the improved cannon yet? No, it's too far ahead. I'm really trying to just kind of upgrade our planes as much as possible here, because they're going to be a crucial part of our strategy is what it is. So I'm going to actually increase this, because we got nothing else we can do. Let's do the Yugoslavia. They'll probably deny it, but we can't exactly do that yet. Okay, can't do that yet. Trying to find something we can actually do. Anti-common parent attack, a little bit behind on that. Several years actually, and we're about to get the advanced large airframe. So let's just wait 6 days, and then we'll make a OP variant of this thing. I don't see why we wouldn't do that. Switzerland wants to renew our trade agreement, and it's not worth the trouble anymore. That'll decrease our consumer goods by construction speed will go up. That would be ideal, actually, to tell you the truth. So let's go ahead and get that, because that's going to be useful as all get out. And so what does a construction look like now that we've done that? Yes, we actually have things working on the anti-air at this point, which is great, which is absolutely great. Heavy industrial parts. Okay. Alright, that should help us in that regard. Alright, so we're officially starting to crank out the anti-air, which is great. We only have a couple ports left to go, and that job will be completed. So at this point, I'm going to come back down here, and I'm going to update our Stuga, because we need to. Close air support needs updated for sure, wherever that is. I can't seem to find it. I don't think we have it, so I'm going to do the fighter and update the fighter. We're going to have Mr. Smith do that because they're the highest company we have in terms of fighters. Now we do have that advanced airframe that I was waiting for, so we're going to create a variant of the heavy bomber. Once I do that, we're going to end the episode because I gotta end and get some lunch and whatnot. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes, but we're gonna build this bomber first and then we'll call it a day. Okay, awesome. Now let's see what we can do to this thing now that we've waited for so long here. Large bay bomb. Awesome. Yes, we're gonna put multiple large bay bombs in here. Okay, now how can we... Nope, we're not gonna put a recon camera in there. That's kind of a waste of time. However, I think we will come down here and swap out and give them 6 engine 3s. I think that would be a great idea. That's going to increase our maximum speed and production cost by 92 and fuel usage by 80, but it also minuses the agility, but we don't really need a whole lot of agility because this is a heavy bomber, guys. We just need something that's going to carry heavy payloads here. That's pretty much it. Bomb site number 2. Yeah, I'm going to stick the bomb site number 2 in here. And then, let's see, defense turrets. What can we do here? Heavy machine gun defense turrets. I think I might put 3 of these in here. Let's make this that same one there. Double heavy machine gun turrets. Okay. And then what else can we do here? And then let's go to modules. What can we do to the plane here? Okay. So only got a couple things left to do. And then this thing is built. It's kind of OP for what it is, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. We'll give it some armor plating, and then we'll give it some extra range again. Yeah, I think we're gonna build it just like that, guys. It can go about 3,600 kilometers. Yeah, this thing is a nasty thing. Why can't we make this? It exceeds the weight for the mission. Okay, so let's just take one of the bay bomber things on here off and see if that's enough weight to remove to get... Yeah, see, we had too many bay bombs on the plane. Okay, so we got 3 areas where you put bombs, and it is heavily defended. The range on it is insane. This thing is an absolute beast. I mean, it's got some negative parts of it, but overall for what we're using it for, this thing is a beast. Air attack is 4.5, bombing is 6.3. That's insane. Absolutely insane. So we're gonna put this into production, and our heavy aircraft designer is gonna work on that. I'm gonna maybe stick 5 factories on this, maybe 6, and then we're gonna move this to be just underneath the Stuka. Alright guys, I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and And next time we will actually be going to war. So you don't want to miss that, because we're going to try and beat France and Belgium and everything else. I don't think we're going to do the war goal against Poland. Not yet. The Soviets might beat us to Poland, but I want to focus on the Allies primarily. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be doing Belgium, France, and England, and hopefully we have a strong enough air force to actually compete with them. But we will find out. I'll see you guys next time.